"Oh, please. You know you'd never have a chance with me, right? You're nothing but a broke loser." After being humiliated by an arrogant employee who made it clear that in her eyes he had neither the money nor the status to ever belong in her world, the humble janitor made a decision. He would stop trying to prove himself to other people and start building himself instead. Years later, he came back, not pushing a cleaning cart, but walking in as the company's newest business partner. The day Sergio Magalhães decided he was going to change his life was a Thursday morning. He remembered the exact time because he looked up at the wall clock in the hallway right after the woman finished speaking. That clock stayed in his mind for a long time after that. Sergio was 32 years old and had been working for 4 years as a janitor at Mod Center, a commercial office building in downtown Recife. Gray uniform, cleaning supplies, employee badge with a photo taken on one of those tired days that somehow leaves you looking tired forever. The employee's name was Monica. She was 28, worked in marketing, and had only recently started showing up in the same company spaces Sergio had quietly worked around for years. He had been invited to the company's year-end lunch by one of the managers who wanted third-party staff included in the celebration. The humiliation wasn't loud. It wasn't public. It was the quieter kind, the kind that can hurt even more. A low comment to a coworker. Sergio only heard it because he was turning the corner with his cleaning cart when she said it. Why did they invite the janitor? Events like this get awkward when they mix everybody together. He's not on the same level. Sergio stopped pushing the cart, just stood there for about 5 seconds. Then he kept walking, but something had changed. That same night, Sergio went to a vocational training center and asked about evening classes in business administration. There was an 18-month program. He enrolled the following week. Then he took another course in facilities management, the field he was already working in. After that came a small business entrepreneurship course. He worked during the day, studied at night, for 4 straight years. At 36, using money he had saved and a small business loan, he opened his own facilities management company. He started with 2 employees and 1 small contract for a residential condominium in a middle-class neighborhood. 2 years later, he had 7 contracts. 4 years later, he was servicing 3 commercial office buildings in downtown Recife. One of them was Mod Center. The first time Sergio walked back into Mod Center as a service provider, it was on a Tuesday in November. He was wearing a suit. His business partner was beside him. The contract had already been signed. He crossed the same lobby he had swept for 4 years, past the receptionist who knew him from another life. Then he reached the 4th-floor hallway, where the marketing department was located. That was where Monica saw him. It took her 2 full seconds to recognize him. Then her eyes dropped to the visitor badge hanging from his jacket. It read, Sergio Magalhães, Director, Mag Service Facilities. Sergio didn't stop. He didn't do what a lot of stories like this would do. No dramatic confrontation, no revenge line, no slow, victorious stare. He simply kept walking toward the conference room. At the end of the hallway, he paused for 1 second. Then he looked at the wall clock, the same clock from 4 years earlier. It read 10:42. Sergio smiled to himself once, quietly, and walked into the meeting. Share this with someone who turned humiliation into fuel instead of bitterness. And tell me in the comments, have you ever used disrespect as motivation to change something in your life?